that you don't want to answer the question.
No, Senator, I am answering
No,
it.
you're not.
And what I want is for Medicaid to be used for mothers and children as it was meant, not for 1.4 million illegal aliens, not for able-bodied people.
Complete lying hypocrite, you know. And I wish they cared this much about actual American citizens. As much passion and y'all see this woman have and how she blows up. I wish they had this much passion and cared this much about actual Americans. I tell you, man, this heifer need to be walked out with her hands behind her back. Roll that beautiful intro.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
They should have been walked this heifer out long time ago. They should have been walked this heifer out before we watch her get completely destroyed in this hearing. I seen this clip once again. Lying, scamming dog, Pocahontas you, lying, scamming dog you. They should have walked this heifer out long time ago. Long time ago. Every time I see this lady, I get the itching and the negative, evil spirit vibes. She the lady that called the HOA on you. This the lady right here that ride around in that HOA card right here. This that lady right. I knew it. This that lady right here. This that lady that calls the HOA. They got to walk this heifer out. They should have walked this heifer out long time ago.
The thing is, he was sharp. He was on his feet. I saw him live event. I had meetings with him a couple of times.
Senator, on his feet is not praise. He can speak in sentences is not praise.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Same people that told you he was as sharp as a tack. And then they got admitted, you know what? Okay. You caught me. Auto pen gate, the biggest scandal in American history. The biggest frauds, the biggest crooks. And they ought to be walked out with their hands behind their back. There needs to be term limits. There needs to be handcuffs and people just being walked out. Every single day, in my opinion. We ought to go in Washington, clean house. We ought to go to Congress and clean house. They say, Rick, sir, calm down, sir. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Let's get into the main part of the video. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. God bless them beautiful patriots around the world. They should have, I'm telling you, they should have walked this heifer out. Yeah. She that woman with the HOA nobody like. You drop a lick of oil and them patriots working on their car, and you drop a lick of oil. She the lady that's looking through the little fence, and she calling. They got to walk that heifer out. Yeah, she got to be made an example out of. This is what everybody's posting. Look at them handcuffs. You see that hand placement with their hands behind their back? It's just a beautiful thing. This is the lady, right? I'm telling you. I agree. I agree with them patriots are posting all over the internet. I agree. I agree with y'all, man. I do. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful Friday. Or whatever time you're watching this, that you've had an amazing week. It's crazy right now, man. We are rooting for President Trump. Prayers for Trump. You see what's going on. It is so much going on. We're praying for peace. We're seeing what's happening with Israel. I mean, it's just with the Elon Musk situation, how that played out. Now everybody's sorry. I went too far. LA, people doing all these riots, and then we seeing the funding. Who's funding all these little riots? The No King protests. I'm trying to figure out, when does the dictate start? When does the dictate start? You know, he wants to be king. He wants to be king. He has too much power. He has too much power. And then this lady posts a video every single day on her page. The big beautiful bill gets even worse than you know. Worse than you know. And then comes on and talk on the same script that she repeated every single video. She repeats the same thing. The same soundbite, the same line, the same talking points. It's a disgrace. I said, they got to go on that hill and just put people in handcuffs and walk people out, man. Walk people out. But God bless is going to completely destroy this lady in this here. And this was just a couple of hours ago. So we're going to get into this, man. Medicaid is not for illegal aliens. She has no response, you know. Once again, we know what they've been trying to do. Again, Congress just passed Elon Musk's Doge cuts, and we've seen what Doge has done. The American people voted for this, you know. The majority of America. Fraud, waste, abuse, the corruption. The scam corruption, the corrupt scam matrix in our government, man. You know, them patriots still want their refund back. Yeah, some of them still saying, "Hey, are they still sending out the 5,000? Are they still sending out the 5,000?" I'm just trying to figure it out. Let's get into this, man. It's a disgrace.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I want to ask about the Republican big, beautiful bill, which will knock about 16 million people off their health care coverage and cut programs that keep groceries cheaper for millions of families in order to try to pay for about $4 trillion in tax giveaways that are mostly going to be sucked up by millionaires, billionaires, and wealthy corporations. So, Mr. Besson, Secretary Besson, I'd like to start with a very simple question. Will this bill increase or decrease the deficit?
They're varying scoring on that, Senator Warren.
You're the Secretary of the Treasury, so I'm asking you. What is your view? Will this bill increase or decrease the deficit?
It is my view that over the 10-year window, it will decrease.
You know, do you have anybody who agrees with you on this?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me ask my question.
Okay.
Every credible independent expert agrees that Trump and the Republicans' big, beautiful bill would add trillions of dollars to the national debt and would not even come close to paying for itself. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, the Penn-Wharton budget model, and the Yale Budget Lab all agree on this, and they're looking at 10-year windows, thank you. So do the Conservative Tax Foundation and Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, conservative groups. Even Elon Musk and the Wall Street Journal are criticizing the bill for ballooning the national debt. The only people who are saying publicly that it's not going to add to the national debt are you, Donald Trump, the Republicans in Congress. Do you have an independent group that has put forward numbers that disagrees with all of these conservative groups and disagrees with the Wall Street Journal on this?
Well, Senator, interesting to see you aligned with Elon Musk, but if I add...
You're no more shocked than I am.
Somebody was screaming in the background.
If we want to take the full congressional budget scoring, they predict, and I don't agree with their methodology, they predict a $2.4 trillion deficit. But
okay, so the answer to the question is yes.
No, but may I finish? They include that, but they've also scored $2.8 trillion in tariff income. So even in Washington, D.C. math,
okay, so,
in Washington, D.C. math, that is a $400 billion surplus.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. This bill, you admit, will increase the deficit. by $2.4 trillion, but you think there will be another bill and another set of agreements that somehow materialize, haven't materialized so far, don't have any statutory authority, but that will make up the difference. So the answer to the original question, will this bill increase or decrease the deficit? I think you just said it will increase. This bill increases the
No,
deficit.
I want to use all.
You see. This is why, you know, I'm gonna just let it continue. They say, Rick, sir, don't pause, don't talk, stop talking, just let it play.
The CBO scoring, and you can't take one without the other. I don't agree with the CBO.
One is the law that we are scoring, the bill that is in front of us. We don't have a tariff bill in front of us to score. Mr. Secretary, let me go on to the second question. You have said that government spending is, quote, out of control. You have also called government spending, quote, unsustainable. In fact, in the name of fiscal responsibility, you're working with the Republicans on this big, beautiful bill to pass the biggest cuts to Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act in American history. So, Mr. Secretary, help me understand here. Why is the national debt so very important that you're trying to kick 16 million people off their health insurance, but increasing the national debt doesn't seem to matter if you're cutting taxes for billionaires and billionaire corporations?
Well, first of all, a huge portion of this goes to family-owned businesses that are pass-through entities that are below that level, Senator. And I am sure you share my goals of Main Street prosperity.
You know, I'm glad to do tax cuts for people of modest means. The question I'm asking is, why does the deficit not matter to you? We're talking about knocking 16 million people off their health care, but it matters not. It does matter to you if we're knocking people off health care, but not.
Well, first of all, that figure is overstated by 5.1 million. That is amount not attributable to provisions in this bill.
So you think it's okay just to knock 10 million people off their health care?
First of all, let's set that straight. Work requirements account for 8 million of CBO's claim number. Again, we're creating an economy that promotes and rewards.
It's clear, Secretary Bessent, that you don't want to answer the question.
No, Senator, I am answering it.
No, you're not.
And what I want is for Medicaid to be used for mothers and children as it was meant, not for 1.4 million illegal aliens, not for able-bodied people.
Medicaid is not used for people who are not documented. Mr. Chairman, I just want.
Yeah, they hate to hear the truth. Yeah, that's it. She blows that. That's it for her. Yeah. When that truth comes out, they snap. They snap. Y'all should have been walked this lady out a long time ago. It's that lady from the HOA that sends you that letter. You know, it's that lady right here. I'm telling you, y'all be laughing when I be cracking these jokes, but this that lady right here. You know, they need to walk this lady out, man. This that lady that's sending that letter from the HOA.
I want to say here, the part that troubles me the most is that the Secretary is deeply worried about the deficit and is willing to knock 16 million, or as he says, merely 11 million people off their health care. Matters so much, but it doesn't matter so much if you're cutting taxes for billionaires. Then it's okay to run up a big deficit. I think that's wrong.
We do have some differences of opinion. However, we also have a time crunch. I'm going to ask the remaining senators, and including any of mine who show up, to stick with the.
What do y'all think, man? What do y'all think of this? Let me know in the comment section. You just can't make this up, man. You know, you just can't make this up.